Hey everyone, 大家好. My name is Heng Sure. Welcome to our Sutra lecture today. We're about to begin our continuing series investigating the Flower Garland Sutra's Ten Transferences chapter. So I hope you're here for that. Looking forward to our investigation together. 我们准备研究大方广佛华严经十回向品，就我们每个礼拜继续打开华严经，跟大家一起研究，希望各位都拿起来你们的热情心啊，你们的勇猛心，我们一起就学习如何回向功德。按照华严经的这个菩萨道。Okay, so Monica is going to be our Dharma requester today, and let me ring the bell 3 times. We can make 3 half bows, and then we'll ask Monica to request Dharma. Here we go. Okay, Monica, if you'd like to request Dharma, please go ahead.
阿弥陀佛，恭请大德圣体，为此法会济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱世离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto sukedoye alahari sanmyao sanputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchetoye alahoti samyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿皆如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. Now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 师父上人，各位师兄大家阿弥陀佛。Venerable Master, Dharma friends, welcome to our Sutra lecture. Thank you for the Dharma request, Monica. We appreciate that. Let's invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in with a melody. Namo 佛菩萨，南无大佛华严海为佛菩萨。One more time. Alrighty, now we need to acknowledge where we are, where this lecture originates, and that would be Mendocino County, city of 10,000 Buddhas. The Pomo people there practice spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation in Mendocino County. In their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years, they had a different name for it. It was not Mendocino County then. Yokeo. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respect to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations peoples whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说婆摩人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系，已有数万年。今天我们承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，并且向他们过去、现在和新兴的长老们，我们致敬，以及主权从未被割让的所有第一民族人民们表示敬意。Yes, we do. Moving through our acknowledgements to the bell song. Here we are. The bells sound wide, resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共宣其法界和平，利益宝贪而后得。Yes. And there we go. By golly. All right. Now, where are we? Let's see a minute. Here we go. Speaker. Before, let's see here. Before we launch into our sutra, let's find out where we're from. There are 80 of us online. I'm here in the Gold Coast of Queensland. Our host is in Liugui, southern Kaohsiung County of Taiwan. We're also in Los Angeles. And we are in Washington State. We're in San Jose. We're in Ukiah and Shanghai and Malaysia and Newbury Park and Sunnyvale. And let's see here. Where else? We're from Calgary and Montreal. Lots of Canadians here today. Round Rock, Texas. Zhejiang, Dublin, Ohio. Alameda, California. Guangdong. San Jose. We are from iPhone. We are in Taipei. We are in, let's see here, Heilongjiang. We're in Lanhai. We're in Berkeley. We're in Seattle. We are, where else? Nanhai. Okay. We are in Heilongjiang and where else? Heilongjiang and Ukiah in San Francisco, Seattle. Bay Area, San Jose, San Gabriel, Malaysia. San Francisco, Seattle, lots of Seattleites here today. Wonderful, welcome. Ukiah, Talmadge actually. And let's see here, Los Angeles. And where else? Virginia. Also in Taipei. Hi, I see Malaysia here, let's see here, in 海宁 okay, that's in Zhejiang. We're in Shanghai. 哦，那现在改到中国的地方，各地方，黑龙江很多，杭州，还有另外一个杭州，还有唐山，那个就是河北，黑龙江，哇，东北人多，上海、福建、河北、张家口，北京、河北唐山 ，K 包头、内蒙古，还有北京、西雅图、上海、吉隆坡，中国人各地都有，洛杉矶、美国、辽宁，上海 and 台北。Good. We're the greatest number by far are from Manchuria, Black Dragon River, Heilongjiang. How about that? So, Shifu's legacy continues. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay. Good evening, everybody. You bet. Okay, what are we looking at? We've started the seventh transference, 第七回向. The seventh transference begins talking about good roots. 一开始就讲善根. So last week we wanted to know what are good roots and why we say good roots. Probably better to say wholesome qualities or virtues of your character. In Chinese, no problem. 善根就是善根。那我们懂不懂什么叫善根没有关系了，我们就知道那个字。那英文我们翻译过来，善根大家听不懂，没有这个根，树有根，草有根，人也有根，那就说应该内在的功德，内在的这个善良的地方，那就叫善根。So it's tricky. In Chinese, of course, it's just one word. You still have to figure out what it means, but you don't have to hassle the way you render it in another language. So, and we have tree roots, we have grass roots, we have a well-rooted character, that kind of thing. But if we look at it as an agricultural metaphor, we should probably say good seeds, wholesome, maturing potentials, something like that. So there are people who would say goodness. Just don't argue so much. Just do goodness. That also works. In English talks about the thing that good roots, the principle points to. All right. Now we just finished the list of good roots, and we also looked at the wholesome qualities that the 100 Dharma Shastra gives us a list of 11 goodnesses in our nature, which are all good roots. And interestingly, that list includes some absences. So no anger, no greed, no delusion, no shamelessness, a sense of shame, a sense of remorse. Those are all good qualities. Those are all good roots. 那个百法明门论我们研究过，说有11种善法，是一个就内在的德行，很有意思。有几个是没有贪、没有嗔、没有痴，那就说善。那个是内在的善德，善功德，因为没有贪嗔痴三毒，所以就说 absence， 就说少那个是善，多那个不善。Okay, so now we're just at the beginning of the chapter, and let's dig in. What do you say? Share my screen. Okay, good. Yes, glad you're all here. Oh, let's say, I want to, by the way, let me say at the start, because I will probably forget it on the other end. Let's see here, gcdr.org.au. Ooh, still not there. All right, never mind. We have a Guanyin Qi happening here in Australia. So, okay, look at that pretty desktop. Isn't that nice? Here we go. Right there. So, the speaker, by the way, we haven't mentioned him. The speaker of this entire chapter is a bodhisattva whose name is Jingang Chuang Bodhisattva, Vajra banner. And a banner is like a flag. It's usually made of fabric, but in the Avatamsaka, it's made of all kinds of things. In this case, Vajra, this indestructible diamond-like spiritual substance. And the banner, the function of the banner is to fly high and to notify. Banners are communication devices that let you know where the army is, where the king is, where the general is, where the president is walking. They fly up high, and they are inspiring. Banners kind of, when the banner takes the field, you know that the country is represented. You know the team is on the field, and your honor can be defended, or the game is about to begin. That's what banners are. And Vajra banner is that way for the Buddha Dharma. He's here speaking on behalf of the Buddha, teaching this Dharma. 我们没有提到这个主讲的菩萨，所有从头到尾这个释回商品的整个释回商品的主讲的菩萨叫金刚床菩萨。金刚床呢，床就是说一个旗子，那个看到旗子，你就知道这个运动比赛，你的队伍是哪一个？他们上场，他们上来了，准备比赛。哦，看到那个旗，大家叫一声非常兴奋啊！如果是打仗，那个将军在哪里？有他的旗子，他的床这样子。那么我们也不打仗，我们也不是运动比赛，我们是菩萨讲佛法，他出来了，我们都很兴奋，可以听到如何修行我们的善知识来了所以他的床饭庙盖这样子，他的床是用金刚做的。金刚你也没有看过，我也没有看过，可是华严经从整个华严经都提到这个金刚，像钻石差不多，这个像个 diamond 也不是个 diamond 是金刚或者那个钻石，那个是我们看到了，就是就入世。这个金刚呢是出世的一种妙物、灵物。那么他的床用这个做的那就非常非常殊胜。他有资格提佛来讲华严经的释回商品。Okay, are we ready? Let's use the words of Vajra Banner and get into it. Here we go. 佛子菩萨摩诃萨于此善根修行安住，去入摄受，积极伴具，无解误解心境，开始发起时。Disciples of the Buddha, when bodhisattvas, mahasattvas cultivate these good roots, settle in them, immerse themselves in them, internalize them, amass them, perfect them, awaken to them, cleanse their minds of them, expand upon them, and use them to inspire others, Okay, this is all talking about the long list of good roots that we've just been through. 就说他就开始说，什么时候菩萨把我们以上那个很长的那个所有的善根，他们什么时候拿这个善根修行安住，去入摄受，积极伴具， 误解心境开始发起，那个时候 okay, so Vajrabhanner says, we've just looked at that long list of good roots, and when bodhisattvas do these things. The translators have done an interesting interpretation of our list of good roots, breaking them down into separate verbs. Settle in, immerse, that's a typo, immerse themselves, join that together. Internalize them, amass them, perfect them, awaken them, cleanse their mind with them. That's interesting. How, now let me mention that briefly. This idea of 悟解心境, that interpretation is to cleanse their minds with them. We've been talking at DRBU. I got a chance to teach a class at the university on the Sixth Patriarch Sutra, to give a couple lectures. And the topic was the Six Patriarchs' teaching on repentance, Chan Hui Pin, and repentance and renewal. And of course, I did a lot of research on this particular Dharma, and part of there's not 100% clarity on the answer to the question, can you wipe out karma? It's the same kind of question regarding transference. Somebody else's, you cultivate, can you give it to someone else? How does that work? What's the karmic engine that makes that possible? So let's say you make a big mistake, you break a precept, or you just make one of those offenses of the nature. You haven't taken the precepts, but you kill or steal or lust or lie. Those are the four major ones. And you create that negative karma. Can it be wiped away through repentance is the question. Interesting question. And one of the things that I know Master Hua talked about was that what you do is think of your nature, the thing that travels from, lifetime to lifetime. Think of your nature as a ledger, like a bank account, an account book. And you've got credits and you've got debits. The credits are your shangongde, your shangan, your good roots, your merit, your virtue, your blessings. And your debits are your zui niezhang, your offenses, your broken precepts, your kind of the sprained ankle of your spiritual nature that is weak, and every time you put pressure on it, it collapses. That's the negativity in your nature. One thing you can do is to work hard on investing, in depositing into the credit side, so that when the results of the karma that you have really done come ripe, when it's time to pay back the debts you owe, as they say, the big offenses get small, the small offenses disappear. You overbalance the goodness in your account, make that very heavy, so that by comparison, the negativity is lighter. We know, for example, that Shakyamuni Buddha did create offenses in his lifetimes before he became the Prince Siddhartha. And after he became Shakyamuni Buddha, he still had to repay those offenses. You would think, oh, he's the Buddha that wipes away all the bad. No, still there. But because of the goodness that incredible blessings, the fullness of blessings that he had cultivated, the big offenses became smaller, and the negativity was, he felt it, but it was comparatively lighter. So instead of having to give up his life, he had to only have a headache, sort of thing. So I know for sure that's one way that repentance works. Now, can you say, oh, I just, I'm now enlightened, so none of my offenses are all wiped away? There are teachings that talk about that, but I'm certainly not going to preach that until I see it for myself, because you don't want to make a mistake that way and cause an effect and say that, oh yeah, it's all gone. So until it is, and then at that point, you can see it for yourself. 这个事情我们都最近有机会教两门法界大学的课程。那个学生研究是六祖法宝坛经，这个忏悔业障忏悔品。这个有学生问我说，那这个因果是怎么一回事？是不是你造的罪，你自己一定要负，要报，要受果报，还是因为你忏悔的关系，所以呢把它洗干净，把它洗没有了？有没有这么一回事？我答复他说，有不同的说法，有一些说就说如果诚心礼佛，你就会熄灭罪业，像恒河沙就说罪从心起，将心善，心若妄是罪亦无，心妄罪灭，两俱空，此在名为真忏悔。我们一样看到释迦牟尼佛，他前生他还没有做那个西单太子之前，他造的罪业，等他成佛之后，还是跟着他还没有完全洗干净3个业障，所以做佛还有受果报，有这么一个说法，所以有不同的看法。所以意思是说，肯定的确有一个方法是可以明白这个事情，就说我们可以把那个80天那个，就说我们造罪种福的做功德的种下种子的地方，那个地方是我们来生往生，就是那个大业往生，那个可以观想像一个账目。账目银行里边当然有账目，说有一些债务，还有一些存的钱，有应该说红色还有黑色，红色是要赔的，要付给人还债，那个黑色是你的所有的财产在那个账目里边。对不起，我的中文又差了哈，就说我们可以这样观想，是不是这样子？听说我们离开这个身体去看阎罗王，就是这个样子，他能看到我们的账目，我们生命的账目，生生世世的账目。那么我们如果知道自己有一些罪业，我们就最好就尽量的做善功德，尽量的做那么这样子我们都等于存钱，那么到时候要还债的时候要赔，要付你应该给人的这个钱，那个时候虽然受，可是有话说大灾难变小，小灾难变没有了。 所以呢，我们那个 good 那个善良好像重于这个罪那个恶所做的这样子，可以这样想。那就是说，如果我们怕受果报的时候不好受，或者来生就很苦，那么那就可以尽量的趁机会去做善，利益人呐，种善根，可以这样子想。所以善根就是那个这么样一个观想法。Okay, so that's an interesting way to contemplate this the good roots that we're working with here. What are they? And where are they kept? Interesting concept, huh? Okay, here we go. When those bodhisattvas do these things, they purify their mind. That was all. I launched into that discussion to talk about this idea of purifying the mind. Do we really purify it? Yes, we do, by stopping the flow of negativity and really increasing the goodness that we do. 那我为什么讲那个忏悔还有这个业报，就是因为这个误解心净的意思。我们心到底怎么样清净呢？就是要尽量的趁机会，我可以呼吸气，我可以起床啊，穿鞋子，洗脸去做善啊。每一天，我就尽量的存功德金在我的户口里边了，那就是明白这个道理。虽然那个业过去所造的诸恶业还有，不过呢，它受果报的时候，我一样有善功德，可以用它来清净这个心，是这么一个讲法。Okay, here we go. Continuing, 菩萨这样弄善根的时候，他们怎么做呢？得堪忍心，避恶趣门，善摄诸根，唯以具足，远离颠倒，正性圆满，堪为一切诸佛法器，能作众生福德良天，为佛所念，长佛善根，住诸佛愿，行诸佛业，心得自在，等三世佛，去佛道场，入如来力，具佛四相，朝诸世间，不要升天，不谈富乐，不着诸横，一切善根，悉以回向，为助众生功德之藏，助究竟道，普福一切，于虚妄道中拔除众生，令其安住一切善法。All right, there we go. Wow, long list of the best things a human can do. This is, if you think about this before we listen here, this is a story of success as a human being. What is a good person? What happens when you're on the right track? These things. As these bodhisattvas cultivate these good roots, what do? They realize a mind of patience and close the gates to the lower destinies. Skillfully gather in their sense faculties, they deport themselves with perfect dignity. Leaving confusion far behind, they make upright practice perfect. A ready Dharma vessel for all Buddhas, they serve as a wholesome field of merit and virtue for living beings. Cherished by all Buddhas, they increase the good roots that lead to Buddhahood. Grounded in all Buddha's vows, they practice the Buddha's deeds. Their minds are at ease. They themselves are the equals of the Buddhas of the three periods of time. Steering towards the Buddha's site of awakening, they realize the Tathagata's powers. They possess the Buddha's hallmarks, which surpass those in all the worlds. They take no delight in being born in the heavens. They crave neither wealth nor pleasure. They do not cling to any practice. With all of their good roots, they make dedications. They serve as a treasury of merit for all living beings. Well established on the ultimate path, they shelter everyone. They draw living beings away from the paths of delusion, firmly anchoring them in all wholesome dharmas. Okay. Oof. Man, oh man. This, sometimes reading and listening to the news hurts the spirit. There's so much wrong and harm and misery going on in the world around us. And you can say, oh, it's so far away. It's in the Middle East. Oh, it's in Eastern Europe. Oh, it's in Afghanistan. Oh, it's down in Latin America with the rise of authoritarianism. And yet, when you look at the planet in space, our planet Earth, you realize we're neighbors. Even to the point where this, the host of this broadcast is in southern Taiwan, out in the jungle in Six Turtles, and yet his voice was right there. I'm in southeastern Queensland, near the ocean. Some of you are in Inner Mongolia, some of you are in Florida, some of you are in Texas, etc., 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 northern Canada. So the world has shrunk. So disasters and troubles happening in the world might as well be next door. And the minds, the nervous systems, the emotions of those folks going through those disasters are absolutely identical with ours. So it's very easy when we learn about the misery going on in the world to just feel like humanity's doomed. And yet, reading this list of what bodhisattvas do as they do good, as they create goodness, it just brings your spirits right back up. It just gives you the boost in appreciating what humanity is capable of. And when you think about, suppose you had a child, an impressionable 10-year-old, let's say, boy or girl, who their imaginations are wide and unlimited. They can hear a story and put themselves right in the story, no matter how old it is. They can hear about a hero testing a new airplane that can travel around the world without refueling. And in their minds, they're right there in the cockpit with the pilot. So to be able to show impressionable young minds how good they can be, I think is a life worth living. Why do we lose track of the goodness? And why don't we teach our children about these paradigms of wholesome behavior? Look at what the Bodhisattva does here. They realize a mind of patience. They close the gates to the hells, the animals, and the hungry ghosts. They gather in their eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, and they behave with dignity, beautifully, in a way that just picks our spirits up. They leave confusion far behind, and their upright behavior is made perfect. They are a Dharma vessel for the Buddhas. They hear a principle, they can hold it and never ever forget it. They can teach it to others. They serve as a field of merit and virtue for living beings. They grow goodness for others and give it away. The open-handed harvest. Cherished by the Buddhas, they are always doing the deeds that take them to Buddhahood ultimately. They use the Buddha's vows as their compass bearing, and they do what Buddhas do. Their minds are not uptight because what's to be afraid of? They themselves are the equals of the Buddhas of the 3 periods of time in the future. Steering towards the Buddha's awakening, they realize the Tathagata's 10 powers bit by bit. They have the 32 hallmarks that are unsurpassed. They don't want to become gods. Gods tend to take it easy and enjoy, and taking it easy and enjoying is good, but you still have to work hard. They crave neither wealth nor pleasure. They don't cling to practices. They really have a big picture in mind. With every good root, they make those transferences of merit. They are a storehouse of goodness for all beings. And on the path, this tall tree of Dharma provides cool, luxuriant shade for everyone. They pull us out of delusion and put us into wholesome dharmas. That is how we could design a curriculum so that children believe this is possible. They see it in others around them. They don't just hear about it. They see their teachers, their parents, their classmates being inspired to live that way. I think that's what education should be. 各位看看，我们阅读新闻很容易就悲伤，知道有战争，知道有天灾，有人祸，我们就失去我们的良心，就犹豫，觉得我们就躺平了，就躺平，何必起床？躺平没有意思，我的明天不会更好，那就有这种情形，我就说，我们为什么不把华严经的经文拿出来，给我们的课室里边的年轻的学生看，让10岁的小孩，他们的想象力还是没有边际，他们都会想象自己是英雄，自己是驾驶员，自己是太空员，就很容易，因为他们的我相不是那么坚固了。在那个很心底很嫩那个时候，如果能说，小朋友，你知道人能做多大的善呢？人都可以有这个忍耐的功夫。我们如果有的话，我们就不怕堕落三恶道，我们6根就会收回来，我们的唯一都会圆满很具足就这个3000唯一8万细行都没有缺我们都原理颠倒，正性圆满，因为我们愿意做善人我们的心目中就是有菩萨给我们做榜样看为一切诸佛法器，因为知道如何修行，一点都没有忘了能做众生福德良田，你也可以这样做。我不是说将来要发财，我不是说将来要做电影明星，我都愿意给众生做福德良田为佛所念，长佛善根，助佛愿，佛所发的愿都会提醒我们，我愿意这样子，我就把它做我的榜样，行诸佛业就用智慧 不害人，不害众生，心得自在，因为没有忧虑，没有恐怖，何必呢？怕什么？我没有害处，我不是希望我争第一，没有那个念头，所以呢，心得自在，很舒服，在我心里边，没有烦恼。等三世佛，佛去道场，入如来力，如来十种智慧力量，具佛四相，超诸世间。人可以这样做不乐人天，不要升天，不贪福的福乐。那个师父，我听上人玄公上人第一次我听到这个道理，我都记得了。因为做基督徒一定要升天，可是没讲详细，没有讲清楚升天之后怎么一回事。其实你就问那个牧师，问那个神父，天上到底做什么？真的听起来很无聊。弹弹乐器，在一个云彩里边飞来飞去，什么都不做了，哎呀，享受，真的不感兴趣了那么，所以呢，菩萨不要升天，不贪福乐他们知道众生在那受苦，他们就离开天堂，就到回来娑婆世界，想法子用智慧方便度众生。不着诸行，因为度众生不是很容易办的一切善根悉以回向，就这样说。为助众生功德之藏，他们怎么样能令他人有福气，他们都愿意；令他人增长善功德，他们就以这个为快乐。助就近道，普福一切就是我济诸众生，皆共成佛道，这是他们的这个座右铭。欲虚妄道中，拔除众生，令其安住一切善法。这个是人类的榜样。我读这个，我真的觉得太好了，真的太好了。This is really, really superb, you know. I'm going to bring up something I'll share with everyone. In this, with this in mind, trying to keep everybody's spirits high is a challenge for living beings. 让我们所有的人在21世纪2023年不放弃，不犹豫是不容易的。This is a time when it's very easy to just quit. In China, they talk about 躺平, lying flat. People give up. A friend of mine named Janice Ian, songwriter, Leo, she's a remarkable spark plug, about 5'2". During COVID, when COVID first locked down, everybody was afraid because we didn't know. This is the last time a pandemic happened was the Spanish flu, and thousands of people died. So Janice says she was doing laundry when this song came to her as she was putting in the soap flakes, and she used her phone and sang it into the phone, recorded it, and then later finished the song after the laundry was done. And then she had the idea that this song really helped. And she released it to all her friends and put it on her website and Instagram and Facebook and said, anybody who would like to record this, please do. Send me a copy and I will put it on my Better Times Will Come website so that we can have many, many versions of this song. She essentially gave the song away. And Janice Ian is a professional songwriter. She lives by her music, but she gave this one away. And she collected, I think, 200 now, different songs. And my friend Steve Boffman said, Heng Sure, translate it into Chinese and record it, send it to Janice. So with help, I did. I didn't translate it. I had friends who really speak Chinese who did it. But now we have a bilingual song that, like the spirit of the Bodhisattva and the Ten Transferences, it makes things better. It picks the spirit up, and it goes like this. Better times will come, better times will come, when this world learns to live as one. Oh, better times will come. 明天会更好，明天会更好，世界和谐心大同，明天一定会更好。When we greet each dawn without fear, knowing loved ones soon will be near. When the winds of war cannot blow anymore, oh, better times will come. 面对困难毫不畏惧，亲朋好友不离不弃，道场如苦，马放南山，明天一定会更好。Okay, you can join me if you want. 大家可以一起唱哈。Better times will come, better times will come, when this world learns to live as one. Oh, better times will come. 明天会更好，明天会更好，世界和谐心大同，明天一定会更好。Though we live each day as our last, we know someday soon it will pass. We will dance, we will sing in that never-ending spring. Oh, better times will come. 生死转瞬一息之间，黑暗夜晚幻变白天。感恩心向大地会痛，明天一定会更好。明天更 See, I'm sorry, 再来。Better times will come, better times will come, when this world learns to live as one. Oh, better times will come. 明天会更好，明天会更好，世界和谐心大同，明天一定会更好。So that's Janice Ian's song, and if I'm not mistaken, let me see now. I believe, let me check. If you go out to bettertimeswillcome.com, there it is, bettertimeswillcome.com. This is the Better Times Project, and here are, you go out to the videos, here are all the different videos. Look at that. And some very famous songwriters are included here. Hundreds of songs. So many different languages. So many different styles. 就你们各位看一看，那么多语言，那么多样式，大家把这首歌就录了。I haven't translated it in Chinese yet. let's see here. Do we have is there a search list view? Let's see here. This is not in alphabetical order. Let's see here. Check this out. Chinese Sign Language, Mandarin. Let me explain first, and then we'll. Okay. 我有个朋友叫 Janice Ian， 那个疫情来的时候，他在那儿就做洗衣服，他的灵机一动了，他就想起来这首歌，就录了，用他的手机来录音，然后衣服洗好了，烘干好了，他就写起来了，然后他就放在他的网站说，谁愿意把我这首歌自己用自己的方法唱一唱，然后拍个电影送给我，我都把你录的那个 video 就放在网站。结果呢，现在200多个，好几个语言，不同的方式，有的是合唱团，有的是自己唱，还有什么呢？你们各位看看 Chinese Sign Language。Chinese Sign Language 到底是谁呢？看看
Introducing the
我们 YouTube 不能看，我们就看这个。明天会更好，明天会更好，世界和谐心大同，明天一定会更好。OK， 够了，就是说我们你们现在我相信那个 project 还在，我们如果自己愿意录，我相信他都会接受。好几个，现在他们没有说多少就好几百个就录这首歌。那这首歌有什么好呢？这首歌的好处就是会像菩萨，像那个第7回向的菩萨，他们就把这个善根种好了，他们尽量的发挥自己内在的为人的善良的部分，就去做善那么这个我什么时候读到了，我自己都好像就受到一种浩然正气，一股风，就我让你站的笔挺着，我让你呼一口气吸一口气了，就发起打起精神这样子。所以我认为华严经的菩萨道是我们人类的一个善良的地方，我们应该多多发挥。用音乐也可以不过你们有什么技能，用什么本领用什么本事去令人类进步，因为很容易在这些时间就犹豫了，或者心情往下降。听到华严经的菩萨我们都大家的精神会提起来。So I think the important thing to the reason why I want to share this is when I read this section, pretty much any part of the Avatamsaka, but particularly the conduct of bodhisattvas, I get a boost. I get a feeling of of energy and positivity, and any thoughts or doubts or fears or depression, despair at the state of the world, the state of living beings, just vanishes, because the light of the Bodhisattva's humanity at its best is just overwhelming. It just breaks through the darkness. All right, we got to go a little more into the text now. Let's do that. We'll ask Janice to disappear here. Actually, I can probably, do we have, I know I've got one with the, let's do this. I will type into our chat box the Better Times Will Come website, www.bettertimeswillcome.com, COME, bettertimeswillcome.com. There we go. 如果你们各位想多多看哈，就bettertimeswillcome.com 可以了。Okay, save that, and I believe I have the Chinese. Better Times Will Come. I can't give you the whole thing. It will break our chat bot. Here we go. There it is. Here we go. Copy that. Why can't I copy? Copy, please. Copy. There. And paste. Okay, there. 那个 chat box 里边都有中文哈。Okay, there you go. Now, let's get back to our sutra. What do these bodhisattvas do? We'll just read this next passage. 遍诸境界，无断无尽，开一切智，菩提之门，建立智床，眼镜大道，普能示现一切世间，灵出垢染，心善调伏，生如来家，净佛种性，功德具足，作大福天，为世所益，安利众生，贤令清净，常勤修习一切善根。Okay, here's the summary. They pervade all situations without cease and without bounds. They open the door of Bodhi to omniscient wisdom. Raising the banner of wisdom, they adorn and purify the great way. They appear everywhere throughout all worlds to enable living beings to remove defilement. Skillfully bringing their minds into harmony, they're born into the house of the Tathagatas and purify their predisposition for Buddhahood. Replete with merit, they serve as a great field of blessings upon which all the world can rely. Settling living beings in peace, they enable them to be pure and to diligently cultivate all good roots at all times. All right. This is the conclusion of the goodness, the list of goodness that bodhisattvas do, and it's just so powerful. For example, they pervade all situations without cease and without bounds. Now, this already is, we're into the transcendent side of the bodhisattva. The thing about that last passage was you can, although it does talk about, the Buddha's qualities, which are beyond our reach, still the flavor of that last section is still very doable. It's very approachable. And I don't have the sense that, oh, I'm not a bodhisattva, so I can't do it. It's the best part of a human. It inspires me to improve my humanity, and it's still reachable. Here, pervading all situations without ceasing, without bounds, Bodhisattva at this point has already reached that sixth paramita. They're beyond duality, both worldly and world transcending are available to them. So 就是说上边菩萨虽然是这么圆满这么清净呢，我读到那一部分，我总是觉得那个是我可以做的，哈，就说做佛事呢，就说不害人也是佛事。现在呢，菩萨已经出世的法、入世的法都圆满，现在已经到了这个般若的境界了，所以呢，这是未来，不是这么快就可以做到，可是还可以，一样都可以提醒起来。They open the door of Bodhi to omniscient wisdom. Yes, indeed. They raise the banner of wisdom, adorn and purify the great way. Here's the banner we talked about. They appear everywhere throughout all worlds to enable beings to remove defilement. This is the Pusa Mohasa, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Skillfully bringing minds into harmony. That's our new translation of Tiaofu instead of tame and subdue. Bring their minds into harmony. They're born into the house of the Buddhas. They purify their predisposition for Buddhahood. Check that out. That in Chinese is, let's see here, 净佛种性. There we go. Purify predisposition for Buddhahood instead of seed nature. Replete with merit, they serve as a great field of blessings upon which all the world can rely. There we go. That's the language that gets me going. Settling beings in peace, they enable them to be pure, to diligently cultivate good roots at all times. 菩萨已经到了不二的境界了，哈，遍诸境界，无断无尽，开一切智菩提之门。他呢，就是菩萨摩诃萨的境界，建立智床，严禁大道。我们刚刚讲到那个床，哈，普能实现一切世间，那么灵出垢染，心善调伏，你看，不会打太太，不会骂先生，不会向父母打妄语，因为他们灵出垢染，心里已经有光明，上如来家，净佛种性，功德具足，万德备，做大福天。为师所依，他们实在是很妙啊！这是我们就说心目中的大英雄，这是我们为人的榜样。安利众生，咸令清净，常坚修习一切善根。他一开始就将25种善根，那么结束呢，最后呢还是修习一切善根。你看他们不停止，虽然是菩萨，虽然将来可以成佛了，可是他们不停止种善根。Okay, I want to make a point here. We started out hearing about 25 kinds of good roots that bodhisattvas do. And we end up with them diligently cultivating good roots, letting living beings imitate them. So these bodhisattvas are still cultivating good roots alongside of living beings. And here, I think, is really important. When we first encountered Master Hua, in the 60s at Gold Mountain Monastery, and at 60s in Buddhist Lecture Hall, and 70s at Gold Mountain Monastery, in the 80s at City of 10,000 Buddhas. Shifu was doing it himself. He didn't only lecture to us every night for 90 minutes about how bodhisattvas behave. He did it himself. He was our model. And it's interesting that if you kind of look at Shifu's life in decades, 10 years in Hong Kong, this 10 years at Gold Mountain Buddhist Lecture Hall, 10 years at City of 10,000 Buddhas, and then on down to Burlingame and San Jose. Interesting. So here's the Bodhisattva teaching us about the goodness of the human heart and then letting us watch, doing it himself. That was, if Shifu had only been a theorist, he'd been an academic talking about the Bodhisattva path, chances are we would learn from him but not try to imitate him. But because Shifu led the way in being unselfish, not fighting, and not being greedy, and not being selfish, not seeking for anything, always being content, not taking the good parts himself and being totally, totally honest, we were inspired to do the same. 菩萨在华严经呢，他们是理论家，他们会讲，不过因为他们能行，所以我们被感动。菩萨他们真的能就如言所行，他们身体力行。如果师父每天晚上讲经的时候会叮咛我们，会指导我们，会向我们讲法，我们一定会遵从。师父不是单单说而已，师父真正身体力行。我们看到师父这样子不争，然后不贪，然后不求，无所求，不自私不自利，然后常常讲真话实话，所以呢，我们都会感动，我们都依教奉行这样子。所以菩萨教众生修善根，他们自己继续种善根。Okay, all right. Now we're going to look at the contemplation that the bodhisattvas do, how they reflect, and what they're going to do. So this is the way the the way the Avatamsaka works. Is there's there's a kind of a summary, a preview of what's going to be taught. Then the bodhisattva goes and does it. Actually starts to create the core of each of the transferences. And we're about to get to that point next week. 华严经就那个十回向品里边每一个回向那个小段一段，菩萨先告诉我们，这个金刚幢菩萨说，菩萨怎么样准备，他有什么资格，跟第六、第五、第四、第三、第二、第一不同，哪里不同？然后呢，就开始表现这个第七回向的特别的这个方法。我们下个礼拜就到那里。那现在呢？现在都有我们的故事，就是玄奘大师的故事。这次，oh boy, where is he? He is here. No, right here. Okay. 玄奘大师到这里，在新疆，他到这边，Karasar，就这边。He is up here in Xinjiang province. He's coming from the east, going this way. Okay? 法师语众素欲全策，明法又进银山，山深高广，且是银矿，西国因前所从出也。山西有风群贼，众欲物而去。let's see， 众于物而去。水至王城所处川，所处川二see I'm sorry one more time， 水至王城所处川 here we go 所处川岸而树。I got confused by the romanization. You look at the characters, you're fine. 所处川岸而树. All right, here we go. The master and his companions spent the night by the side of the fountain. Following morning, they resumed their journey and crossed the silver mountain, which was very high, tall mountain, and also very rich in silver. The silver for making the money that was used in the Western countries was produced in this mountain. Oh boy. Can you imagine mining that and then taking it back to China? West of the mountain, they encountered a group of robbers. But when they had given them some goods, the robbers went away. They then proceeded to the royal city and spent one night there on the path. Now, I guess the silver didn't go to China, it went to India, to the countries in the West. Okay, notice what happened. Robbers came. Bands of robbers. And they, because the caravan with Master Xuanzang in it didn't fight, didn't try to defend themselves, but they gave some of their belongings to the robbers. Something about the master satisfied the bandits. They didn't ask for more, and they didn't kill everybody. So that's interesting because there are other encounters with bandits along the way. So they went on to the capital city, and they passed the night. 那么各位注意，这个白银从这个银矿挖出来的，就给这些丝绸这些国家可能不去中国，中国可能有自己的银的矿。然后你们各位注意，他们碰到这个贼，这个土匪一群，他们给他们一点东西，这些土匪就满意了，他们就没有害人，没有杀人，也没有更要所有的东西了。这应该是因为玄奘大师的功德，他们都会看到，他们都满意了，难得。继续再过几年这个路途了，另外一些土匪不是那么容易被降服了OK, what else? 10. 同旅商虎术时，贪先贸易，业众私发，潜去10余里，遇贼劫杀，无一脱者。彼法师等道，见其遗骸，无负财产，身伤以叹言。At the same time, however, several tens of foreign merchants who were traveling together, eager to do business before the others, proceeded secretly in the night. They'd gone a little more than 10 miles, 10 li, when they met robbers who killed them all, sparing none. When the master and the others reached the scene, they only saw the remains of the dead men, all their goods having been taken. They deeply regretted the accident with many sighs. Okay, what is this about? It's about greed. On the Silk Road, this is in Xinjiang, there were other groups, foreign merchants. Who knows? They might have come from Persia, they might have come from Afghanistan, they might have come from southern Wutang. But they saw Master Shenzhang's group, and they were afraid that they were not going to get the best deals, so they snuck out after dark. Bad idea. And the bandits found them, killed them all, took everything, and left their dead bodies on the sand. Master Shenzong group came along by day, and they had already encountered the bandits and had made their peace with them. And what did they find? They found the corpses of the merchants who thought they would get a head start and get a better deal by being the early bird catching the worm. Oh my, so sad. 就是说，有其他的商人，有骆驼有马，看到玄奘大师来了，他们可能误解，以为他们如果他们在前边可能会做买卖赚所有的钱，这个卖主啊，就是买主恐怕这个不感兴趣买他们的货，所以他们偷偷着黑暗的晚上先跑出来，结果呢走了没有多久了，在晚间遇到那些土匪被杀了，所有的东西偷了。哇，你看，就因为贪心的关系，所以呢就呜呼哀哉，糟糕了啊！然后玄奘大师那一群人白天出发，就看到一些尸体在哪里啊，真的可怜，因为贪心的关系了啊。见去遥见王都，阿耆尼王与诸臣来迎，沿入供养。齐国先被高昌扣牢，有恨不肯给马，法师听遗属而过。Proceeding on their way for some time longer, they saw at last the royal city in the distance. The king of Agni and his ministers came out to receive the master and invited him to the city to entertain him. But as his country had recently been invaded by the bandits of Gaochang, the king was nursing his anger against them and gave no horses to the master. The master spent one night and passed on. Yep. Chances are the king of Agni was not a Buddhist, not like the king of Gaochang. And when he saw Master Shenzang, he only saw him as and his letter of introduction from the king of Gaochang, he saw him as a source of harm, potential harm, and certainly no benefit. So why bother? Don't give him anything. Sad, lost his chance. 这个叫什么？阿耆尼国的王，这个国王，因为我相信他不是佛教徒，所以不认识玄奘大师是怎么一回事。然后法师拿出来他的推荐信，高昌王推荐他，就从高昌那里有害，所以他就不愿意利益，不愿意跟玄奘大师有其他的关系了，失去了机会喽，糟糕，对面不是观世音，So that's the story. Let's take a look. Here is, this is that kingdom, the Agni kingdom, 阿耆尼国，有这个现在这个伊斯兰教的教堂，我们玄奘法师从这边出发，就到这里，已经到这儿，他过了这个摩诃眼，已经到这儿，现在新疆 这个现在的这个地图来讲，这个 Silk Road the Silk Road went here and Cialis Shinchun. Yeah, there we go. Right here. This is where he was, above the desert. Right? So, 他就在这 Karashar. 接下来下个礼拜呢，他就到库恰，秋斯国，也是这个有翻译的人手从那边。This next week he's going to get to Kucha, and Kucha is a major place on the Silk Road because lots of translators came from there. These are soldiers from the 8th century, a couple hundred years later, that Master Xuanzang probably saw soldiers wearing armor like this. 法师，我相信看到这个军兵穿这种的盔甲，这是第8世纪，大要再过200年，玄奘大师过世。那个是土耳其的大使来访问。From ambassadors from Turkey visiting the Karashar kings. There's water there. This is an oasis. That landscape probably hasn't changed much since our master traveled through there. All right. Karashar. Yeah. Agni, the country of Agni. Okay, so there we go. Let's dedicate our merit, practice the way bodhisattvas in the Avatamsaka practice, and send out that goodness as far as our minds can travel. Here we go. 我们就会相共的哈。May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. And we will bow to the Buddha. Please join. You're welcome to bow with me. 我们一起礼佛. Oh, come back. One moment, please. There we go. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Okay, that will do it for us for today. Please be well. Look forward to continuing with you next week as we proceed to understand, to learn about the Bodhisattva in the Ten Transferences chapter. 我们到此为止啊，那么下个礼拜跟各位继续研究十回向品。阿弥陀佛。Bye now.
Thank you, Sivas. Next Sunday, the daylight saving time will end, US. So it's going to be 1 hour later.
1 hour later. Okay.
Yeah, for you and for people in Asia.
Okay, 好。You want to say that in Chinese?
下礼拜天开始，美国这边的那个日光节时间，夏令时间结束。所以如果你在亚洲的话，那个上课的时间会是晚1个小时。现在是10点半早上开始，那下礼拜天开始就是11点半。如果在澳洲的话，金安的话是1点半 ，right? It's 1:30.
Alrighty. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Alrighty.
老师。
Bye now. Bye bye.
Thank you. 拜拜。